And welcome to the space between ideas. I'm Blaine Gates. All right, let's get started. So, yesterday we were talking about, let's make this a little smaller. We're talking about the questionnaire. So, I have had a couple of responses. Here we are. I got two responses so far, and they are extremely interesting. Um, let's just, before we go into the responses, let's just take a look at the description of this channel. So as you can see down here, it says this channel is for people starting a new business, for people that want better structure in business meetings, and for people that want to check their thinking structure. Examples include the following: entrepreneurs that want to build entrepreneurs that want building blocks of how to think and plan, line managers that want to manage meetings and train staff, big bosses that want advanced level thinking structures that cover the smallest details and the broadest markets. All right, so I noticed that the responses I got so far are from entrepreneurs. And also, as you can tell, with the basic information that I've been sharing so far, I am also looking at these checklists from an entrepreneur's point of view. So we're looking at entrepreneurs that want building blocks of how to think and plan. Now, yesterday we were talking about the some of the difficulties that people are having when they fill out these questionnaires. And I started to explain bits and pieces of um, the methodology behind these questionnaire questions. And maybe it got a little confusing for some people. So I looked at the questionnaire, and I realized that um, there's like a lot of ideas for each of the questions. The guys that responded, there's a lot of ideas for each of the questions, and some of the ideas aren't really connected into one business idea or one endeavor. So this key word is endeavor or project, one focus point. Now, let me give you an example of my own situation. All right, so here we go. We got a whiteboard. On the right-hand side, we have a side hustle. A side hustle. So that means I'm doing something right now in my life and I get paid. And on the side, I'm developing this other business. All right. So it's possible that some of you guys that are entrepreneurs, you are also doing a side hustle. All right. It's for the entrepreneur. Now, it's also now if you're a line manager, it's possible that that the things that we talk about are vital, and we will see results in the near future in a specific project that you're working on right now. And for the big bosses also, you'll be able to step back and look at how these direct outcomes checklists influence the business that you own. All right, now, so the side hustle. Now, also I got over here, I got the future hustle, side hustle, future hustle. Basically, let's see if I can scroll in here. All right, so these are my business interests. These are the things that I'm interested in. So if you want to know more about me, here we go. All right, so last on the list. We'll start with last on the list. Okay, last on the list is website application designer. Now, this is actually a reuse. Okay, so right now, as I told you in the last video, I'm developing my skills to design using Bubble. All right, so let's just type in Bubble, Bubb. All right, so here's bubble.io/lessons. Okay, welcome to Bubble. And in Bubble, you have a bunch of different lessons that you can take. And then eventually you're able to design websites, you're able to design apps. All right. So that's one of my interests. Now, because I'm interested in Bubble and because I'm learning how to use Bubble, it will actually be possible for me to develop apps and websites for other people in the future. This is a skill that I'm developing. And you might ask, well, like after you've put these things together, why don't you get someone else to build it? That's a good question. Sometimes designing is a very difficult process, and it's not easy to always get somebody else to do it for you. But as I develop the skill, that is something I could do in the future. All right, now another thing that I have become more interested in recently is this idea of selling physical products online. All right. Now, so okay, so there's this thing called FBA store, fulfillment by Amazon. And so basically what happens is people, they become like a distributor of some type of major brand, or they find products on Alibaba and then they sell those products on Amazon. So there's a lot of courses online. You can buy an online course, you can watch YouTube videos, and basically you will learn how to do this type of business. Now, if you're doing this business, you'll also learn about sales funnels. So that is when a person buys a product from you, then you're basically put into their system, okay? And they learn more about you, and then they offer you more things, and basically they keep hitting at you to as a customer to buy more and more things. And that's a really great way to make more money. Find out what your customers want, and then give them more of those things or other related things that they need. All right, finally at the bottom, I'm also interested in digital marketing. I do have a course. Um, it's an okay course, but it hasn't captured all of my attention yet. All right, so these things are over on Future Hustle. All right, so I'd like to learn more about, there's a possibility I could do, help people out with apps and websites. Also, there's a possibility I might get into the sale of physical products online. But for right now, those are not like major interests. They're just minor interests. All right, so now on the right-hand side, now here we have my there we are. Side hustle. All right, so these are things that I'm really interested in doing. Okay, so at the top we have um, direct outcomes checklists. Next to that one, just underneath we have investor, and under that we have real estate investor. Okay, so this is kind of where we're at with direct outcomes checklists. All right, so at the top we have YouTube channel. So I have to design content. I need to learn to promote the channel, and also I need to connect via social media. I'd also like to develop an app, so that means I need to learn Bubble, work with Notion, design the app. Down here we have private coaching. Down here we have online course. Down here we have corporate training. All right, so the number one thing that I'm really focused on right now is developing this YouTube channel. Now down here, I'm interested, one of my side hustles is as an investor. All right, so I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of political channels. Watch a lot of channels about economics. And all of that, this is not investment advice. This is something that I have decided to do, and I started doing a couple of years ago. So I started buying gold. Um, obviously everyone's going to have your own opinion about that, but that's kind of what I've learned and decided to do. And next, I don't actually have Bitcoin right now, but this is kind of like I have a little bit of money that I kind of want to play with. I think that this is a very volatile investment. It goes up and down like crazy. But, I don't know. I haven't come to a decision yet. And then third, it's learn day trading. Okay, so as I've been learning about economics and politics, then that has got me interested in day trading because then when I'm not only hearing the news, but I'm also learning how the stock market reacts to the news. And that's really interesting to me because since I'm already kind of like a news junkie, I might as well see how it affects the markets. And if I start to see, different patterns, and as I learn this idea of how to day trade, possibly there's an opportunity there to make money. At the bottom is real estate investor. Okay, so my basic idea right now, how I think about the economy is that we are going to have we're going to have a contraction. We're going to see some deflation. The property prices will go down. The price of gold will go up. And then basically, I'm going to switch out of gold and into real estate. All right, so those are some of my interests. Now, you might say, oh, you're so shallow. You just think about business. Look, these are just my business interests. All right, so this is basically, you can see what I'm thinking as far as my business interests are concerned. Now, what does that have to do with you? Well, this is what I'm talking about. So as you fill in the questionnaire, you're going to see some questions, and like, don't stress out. You're going to have a lot of interesting questions to answer. You don't have to answer all the questions. Just try your best. See what you think. And if you don't know the answer or you're not sure what to say, just skip it. It's not a problem. Don't worry about it. But for those who have already looked at the questionnaire, what I noticed is that um, this is what I'm seeing. Okay, so I'm seeing like a wide variety of interests. And so what we're going to do with Create Crucial Insight is we want to hone down on one specific thing. All right, so in this case, what I'm really focused on now is the YouTube channel. All right, so let's click My Questionnaire. All right, so we started looking at this yesterday. Okay, what are the KPIs? All right, so I'm trying to work towards 1,000 subscribers within the next 3 months. I'd like to help people improve their business performance, and I'd like to develop software behind the Create Crucial Insights. All right, next question. Reuses. All right, so we went through this last time. We got reuses. What's after reuses? Outcomes. What's after outcomes? Actions. All right, so now where do these ideas come from? Why do I have reuses, outcomes, actions? Why is it in this order? What's going on? All right, so all of these questions come from the book. All of these questions come from the book uh, written by Thomas J. Buckholtz. And the book is called Create Crucial Insight. Now, in this book, we have this framework of ideas. Now, does it look complicated? All right, so we have words all over the place. Let's hone in on just these three words on the side: effects, agendas, and potential. In fact, I have that on the next screen. All right, so let's roll it back to the first video. Remember Stephen Covey, he said, begin with the end in mind, and then do first things first. All right. And I said, well, like, what are those first things first? And then what's the next thing you need to do? And then, like, where do we go with all of this? And all right. So basically, the idea is you create a goal and then you work towards that goal. Now, Tom, he has broken that down a little further. All right. So here, the basic elements of the entire book, of the entire philosophy behind creating crucial insight and the direct outcomes checklists comes with these little words right here: do, think, and be. Do, think, and be. All right, so if I wanted to replace these words with Stephen Covey's ideas, the think, that would be begin with the end in mind. All right, begin with the end in mind. And then, no, sorry. Do. Okay, so do. That would be begin with the end in mind. Okay, so what are the effects that I want to create? What is the goal that I'm trying to achieve? All right, so what are these create effects? Now we go back to the other page, and effects, you can see how effects, they are connected to foster reuses, recognize outcomes, and perform actions. All right, so that's in a little group here, effects. Begin with the end in mind. And so what is the end? Well, like I said before, the reuses. Okay, so how do we reuse? Now, I had one of my friends, he said, well, the idea of using people or reusing relationships, maybe that sounds a little bit strange. And okay, I had this friend once in Shanghai, and we were talking about the idea of using or being used, like in the negative context. And I said, like, how do you feel about being used? And he said, I think it's fantastic. It means I'm useful. So I thought that was interesting. He had a very positive approach to being used, whatever that means. All right, so reuses. So let's all right, so number one is reuses. Now remember, we go back to the questionnaire, and the first question is about reuses. All right, so in the future, imagine a future after you have succeeded with the current stage of your project or business. All right, so what's going to happen after or based on the successful completion of the current stage of your business? That's the future. All right, so think about the future and then write down some of your ideas. That's called beginning with the end in mind, and that's like the end after the end. So that's even more interesting. And then outcomes. Okay, so outcomes is very direct. That is begin with the end in mind. And of course, when you want to work towards those things, they're called actions. All right, here they are, the actions. Now, of course, this is just the basic idea. Just go through these checklist questions as simply as you can. Just put some of your ideas, and if you have trouble, it's okay. Just work on it one step at a time. All right, so those three steps to create effects, you need to foster reuses, recognize outcomes, and perform actions. All right, and that's what we talked about yesterday. Now, the next question. So now the next section is talking about agendas. All right, so let's go back to Stephen Covey's concept. So we have the idea of first things first. All right, now if you want to know what you should do first, obviously you need to form an agenda. You need to create a plan. You need to base that plan off of information. And possibly you need to develop some scenarios. Like what are you going to do? Like we could do this, we could do that. Like imagine you're going to drive to another city and there's two roads. All right, so do we take this road or we take that road? And why? All right, so you get on your app or you get on your phone, you talk to some people, you find out that one road is closed between certain times of the day, and then you find out that the other road is a toll road, you need to spend some money, and then you put together a plan and you decide what you're going to do, and then you have your agenda. All right, it's a map, it's a plan. All right, so let's go back to my project. All right, so now remember that the plan, this is just the basic plan. These are my basic thoughts. These plans are going to change because remember last time we talked about we're going to plan from the top down, then we're going to act from the bottom going up. All right? So right now, we're just putting in some of our basic ideas. So if you don't have a plan, just skip this. It's okay. And then you have some scenarios. All right? So you're going to build some scenarios. And if you're saying, well, like, I don't know what scenarios, um, like specifically, what are you talking about? Scenarios related to what? Okay, so today, let's talk about one of my scenarios. All right, so one of my side hustles is developing this YouTube channel. Now, within this YouTube channel project, there are three things that I'm trying to work on. One is I'm designing content. Number two, I'm learning to promote the channel. And number three, I want to connect via social media. All right. So I made a copy of those basic elements over here on the right-hand side of the whiteboard. Now, let's jump into the Notion page. All right, so here it is again. Okay, so the Endeavor elements, we have create effects, that's talking about doing great. And the middle one, we have form agendas, thinking well. All right, so now let's click this state progress checklist. Okay, so I've already entered some of those answers here. Okay, so here's some reuses, here are some outcomes, here are some actions, here are some plans. Now, right now, like I'm not really sure what kind of scenarios to build, and also we need to pick one. All right, so today I want to talk about learning to promote the channel. All right, I'm just going to write that down. Learn to promote the channel. Now, as you all know, you can see that I have very few views right now. We've just started. And so obviously I need to promote the channel. So how do I do that? All right, so we're going to start to work with assumptions. All right, so because I'm not really sure like how to build the scenarios at this point, I need to skip to the next question. All right, so here we go. Pinpoint. All right, so I need to clarify perceptions, including information that may affect the endeavor. Pinpoint the data sources that you use to develop perceptions of how you will do your work and who you'll be working with. What new sources of information could you begin to use? What kind of information is influencing your thoughts about how to move forward? Is there more information that you need? Describe that information. Okay, so yes, there's information. So, like I just said, I want to learn to promote my YouTube channel. And as you remember, I want to get 1,000 YouTube subscribers by August. What was it? August 8th. All right. So, like, how do we do this? What do I do next? Okay. So let's go into assumptions. Now, assumptions is going to be connected to, there's a state assumptions checklist. Yes. So for make assumptions, it goes into the state assumptions checklist. And here we are. So we got the scope, the information, the knowledge. All right. So scope, when it says involve metadata types, um, so those are sources of information. Okay. So I jumped onto YouTube and all right, and I found this lady, Renee, and she has something called cupcake training. Now, why is it that I found her video? Okay, so basically, this has to do with some of my other interests. Like I mentioned that I'm interested in the idea of selling things on Amazon, and I also mentioned that I'm interested in funnel marketing, and she discusses both of those things. All right, so I was just flipping through some YouTube videos, and I went down into her. I looked at the information below her videos, and I see this thing called Your First 1,000 YouTube Subscribers Content Model. So what do? Is you click it. All right, on-demand workshop, your first 1,000 YouTube subscribers, limited free offer. Now, it's obvious that this is like one of these sales funnels. All right, it's obvious because but basically what they want is your email address. And once they get your email address, then they will be able to send you more information. So it says, all right, the best YouTube videos to make. All right, I already know what kind of YouTube videos I want to make. Secret number 2, set up tech in one afternoon. All right, so look, I'm using my Apple earphones and mic, and I'm using my webcam. Now, I've already had friends that have looked at my channel and said, hey, like, you need to improve those two things. And in fact, I was watching this video and she tells you according to people that make YouTube videos, what is the best webcam to use, and what is the best mic to use. All right, and there you go. It's for about $103. I can get those two things. I will have better video, better audio. Everyone will be happy. And then number 3, ethically steal your viewers. Steal the viewers who are going to your competitors' YouTube channels to start coming to your YouTube channel instead. All right, and is it top secret? Maybe, maybe not. All right, so I clicked, well, here's the lady and her husband. She's, oh, wow, this is, look how far it goes. All right, now I didn't need to go through their whole website. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. We have similar interests. She's talking about things that I need to do. And so I clicked on it and I watched their video. Now, when I watched their video, basically it's a big sales funnel. And I thought that they were going to try to sell me a course. Now, what actually happened was they asked me to sign up. They asked me to sign up. Whoa, how are we going to do this? All right, it doesn't matter. Because they asked me to sign up for a course, and the course ended up being free. All right. So now they have a course. Module 1 is the Tom and Renee's YouTube Starter Kit. Module 2, your first 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Number 3, Orbit Stunt. Number 4, Private Facebook Mastermind. Number 5, Tom and Renee's Little Black Book. All right. So this is perfect. Okay. So this is information that I need. I need to learn how to do these things. All right. So now we're starting to build a to-do list, things that I really need to do. All right, so what are some things that I need to do? I need to write it down somewhere. All right, so assumptions, I need to get info on how to promote a channel. And then where am I going to record the details? Let's bring it down here. All right, so things that I'm working on. Topic 1. So what is topic 1? It was called Black Label YouTuber. All right, so we got the Black Label. Is that 2 words? YouTuber. Black Label YouTuber. It's 2 words. YouTuber. That's funny. All right, so I need to go through this course. Course modules. Now, for you, if you are doing the questionnaire, especially if you're a startup, you don't have to worry about it too much. All right. So for me, 2 words. Black Label YouTuber. All right, so basically what's going to happen is between now and the next video where I'm explaining how things work, I am going to go through their complete course. All right, so that's the second section, all right? So I'm building agendas. Now, one of the agendas, um, so as I said, I'm working with YouTube, and one of the things I'm doing with YouTube is I would like to promote content. So I need to build some scenarios about how I'm going to build the content. Now it's possible that I'll go through this information and I'll be like, oh my goodness, this is like really not what I was looking for. In that case, I will look for other information, other videos. Now, obviously, like I have a time limit, right? So I made the goal to hit 1,000 subscribers before August 8th. That means I need to go quickly. I need to get through this course. I need to understand, get the main points out of it, make a list of things I need to do. All right. And then once I have that list of things to do, then I will build some scenarios. Now, usually when you talk about building scenarios, that could be maybe this YouTube channel, they tell me you can do this or you can do that, and I'll have to figure out like out of those 2 choices, 3 choices, what should I do? Or I might watch her content and then watch another YouTube content providers' content and see that they have different approaches, and then decide, do I want to choose this approach or that approach? All right, so right now I'm starting to develop agendas about how to promote this YouTube channel. All right, so basically what's going to happen next is I'm going to talk to the guys that have sent me the questionnaires. We will basically put together one of these whiteboards to parse out all of their different interests, and then we will hone in on one specific interest, and then we will hone in again on, for example, YouTube channel, learn to promote content. And as you can see here, I looked at the Cupcake Trainings YouTube site. All right, so we're going from the very, very big, all of my interests, all the way down to the very, very small. What do I do next? All right, and what do you do next? Of course, I suggest that next you fill out as best you can this questionnaire. And if you're having trouble filling out the questionnaire, no problem. Send me an email and I will help you fill out the questionnaire. In fact, as you can see, this whole program of direct outcomes checklists is all about filling out this questionnaire. All right. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 steps of that questionnaire are the backbone, the 9 steps of making progress, the state progress checklist. And so when you go back to Stephen Covey and you say, begin with the end in mind, first things first, no, no, no. There are many, many more steps, and let's get into those nitty gritty details. And even after we've honed in on those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 details, there are more checklists to give us the microscopic view into each one of those ideas. But then when you move back out and look at what is going on, all we're doing are 3 things. We're looking at how to create effects, how to build these agendas, and how to work with our potential. So I'd like to end with this I'd like to end off with this last point, which is potential. All right. So maybe you're at home and you say, like, I want to do something. I want to build a business. Okay. So there you have resources, you have people, you have ideas. These are all basically potential. And you can't get that potential to work until you've developed some kind of plan. And that plan is going to work towards a specific outcome. So please fill in one of the questionnaires, send me an email. I'd love to work with you. Join me on my channel. Let's make it a little more interesting. I mean, I don't mind talking to you, but I think it will be interesting to talk to some other people on this channel. So I'm glad that I was able to see you today. I hope that you've learned something, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.